Big words morning. This is systems. That's the big word. Put a capital S on that. Systems, right? Well, it's a perspective. It's a way of looking at things, thinking about things. It's a way of organizing things into that's a simple system, right? You go to the grocery store, you purchase mass quantities, you come home, you put them in the fridge. That's a system. It's a repetitive system, recurring. But you wouldn't think of it that way, but a person could. It's a piece of a human's life and activities is going to get food. When I spoke in a previous video about PV equals T, the ideal gas law, 3 words are a description of that formula. And the key word is ideal. There's rules to that ideal, right? So you use PV equals T is a system description. There's a pressure, there's a volume, there's a temperature. It has to be somewhere, right? So the idea, the notion of systems and what they are and how the word can be specified in a conversation and others might not be aware of it. It's like the word evolution. A biologist is going to have a specific context in his mind about what evolution is. A computer scientist, a computer engineer, an applications, a systems engineer, a program developer, a software dude might have a different perspective on evolution because they've watched the evolution of electronics across the globe. This is the boomer offering that's in here. It's just the visual, I was there. It started with AM radios. So when you were that big, maybe you made an AM radio. Maybe you didn't. Maybe there's no AM stations in your area. Who listens to AM anyway? So systems. Having the concept of systems allows you to use that concept to further explore. So what systems are we talking about? I mentioned PV equals T is a formula for a very specifically defined system. The key there is it's with an ideal gas. An ideal gas is one atom all by itself or a mole of those atoms all by itself. We just stepped into the word of ultra high purity materials, purities beyond your glass of drinking water, because this is what we do. So this concept of systems, this just notion, idea, it's not transcendent. It is just how things work. When a well-oiled system, when a well-organized system gets rolling, it is hard to change its path. Because you go back and rewrite some nuance in paperwork somewhere and it flows out through the process and the system and the people. These are systems. These are large organic systems. You can view yourself. Look in the mirror. You are a system. Your input is food. That's the basic input. And then all the rest of your senses that come with it. You get to taste the food. Most people don't just swallow this stuff, but they taste it and enjoy it going down. Those sensory perceptions are analog signals beyond what your laptop will do. So we're looking at ourselves as a system, a food input, the oxygen we need. We need O2. We need a pure oxygen molecule. We can't use the O2 when it's bound to a C. That's CO2. Plants can use CO2, but only so much. Like we need O2, but only so much. The bends, or altitude sickness. is a sign of that. The oxygen levels get changed and the human body might not respond well to them. Or it takes you, go to the Mile High City, it will take you 2 to 10 weeks to become acclimated. And you might or might not notice it, but there's less oxygen up there for reasons. So these systems, this body system that we're looking at, you can break free. There's the heart as a system by itself. I mentioned cesium likes to hang out there, but that's a different story. Systems. You can look into a system, existing systems, from many different angles and perspectives. But if you don't understand the reality framing those systems, the fact our planet is old, let's use that. Our planet itself is a system all by itself without us on it. We're just a part of organic life that happens to be on it by what some would call an odd coincidence. So systems, just the notion, the idea, you have to be able to recognize them in place and working or not working or disruptive systems. It is a key word in a lot of conversations. It is a defining word. So context. And I'm using my tube as a system to communicate. And that makes it really tough to just, how's your sports balls going? Pieces out.